Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. This was given to me this morning because of Mother's Day, so I share it with all of you and the Divine Mother and everyone, even the males. Happy Mother's Day to us all. May Divine Mother especially touch us and bless us today. So let's open with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Masters of self-realization, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, and beloved Master, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, Saints of all religions, we lovingly bow to Thee. Divine Mother, awaken within us the Divine Mother qualities of our highest self. Help us to serve Thee in all that we do, in all that we say, even in our thoughts. Guide us and uplift us, that Your energy may flow through us into the deep inner communion of our hearts and to all whom we meet. Peace. Amen. So today, being our second Sunday of the month, we'll have our routine of a chant, and we'll meditate together, of course, for about 30 minutes. And after that, we'll come out of the meditation with our affirmation, which is on service. And then just a few announcements, and then we'll welcome Dana Lynn Anderson online. She often is in Assisi, Italy, but she is in California these days right now. And as you all know, coming to Dallas to grace us with an incredible weekend, May 29, 30, and 31. And she'll tell us a little bit about that when she's online with us at 11 o'clock. So, and Francisco, if you could let me know when Dana comes on. Okay. Yeah, not yet. Yikes. Okay. I think I'm going to have to put this aside. In fact, we'll put this right here. Perfect. All right, we'll do the hymn to Brahma, and then Twameva, and then a chant. And as you all know, maybe you don't know yet, Mayatri is also coming for that weekend when Dana is here. She'll be with us in Dallas, so just can't get rid of her. Thank goodness. That in English. We don't usually do it, but let's do it every now and again. I like to do it. Full of bliss, give
Thou
Just for once come to me. Wilt thou come? Wilt thou come? Just for once come. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Fly away without seeing thee, my Lord. Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, I look for thee, night and day. Night and day, I look for door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide I keep for Let's prepare for meditation, check in our posture with an open heart. And let's double inhale and tense the body, and then release the tension and the breath. And again, last time. And let's control the breath using a count of 6. Slowly inhale and expand the belly. Hold the breath, gazing into the spiritual eye. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale, going more and more inward. Hold. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Hold. Exhale. And then take one last full inhalation when you are ready. And immediately exhale. And let the breath start finding its natural rhythm. And we will have the purification ceremony for anyone who would like to participate at the beginning of the meditation. And this will be about a 28-minute meditation. And now staying inward in that attitude of stillness. Let's practice our affirmation together from Affirmations for Self-Healing by Swami Kriyananda. Today's affirmation is on service. Service is ennobling. It is a way of offering our human littleness into the great reality that is God's. Service should not be given with the thought that one is serving people merely. It should be given with an inward consciousness to the Lord who resides in all creatures. When we serve others in this spirit, we find our own spirits becoming freed from egotism. Peace, then, fills us in the realization that there isn't anyone with whom we need to compete. What joy to think that we belong to God. And now let's repeat this affirmation this first time with much energy. I will serve God through others.
I will serve God through others.
And by my service to Him,
And by my service to Him,
release the hold the ego has on me.
release the hold the ego has on me.
I am free in God.
I am free in God.
In God, I am free.
In God, I am free.
And this time now, in just a normal speaking voice, I will serve God through others.
I will serve God through others.
And by my service to Him,
And by my service to Him,
release the hold the ego has on me.
release the hold the ego has on me.
I am free in God.
I am free in God.
In God, I am free.
In God, I am free.
And now in a whisper with full concentration, I will serve God through others. And by my service to Him, release the hold the ego has on me. I am free in God. In God, I am free. And now allowing this vibration to fill your entire subconscious being by repeating it silently. I will serve God through others. And by my service to Him, release the hold the ego has on me. I am free in God. In God, I am free. And now this last time, with full concentration at the spiritual eye, awakening the superconscious highest self within us. Silently, I will serve God through others. And by my service to Him, release the hold the ego has on me. I am free in God. In God, I am free. And praying silently, all that I do, Lord, I do for love of Thee. Accept the flowers of my service to Thee as I place them on Thy altar of omnipresence. Om. Peace. Amen. And we'll now have our reading. And we'll need the microphone. Yeah, it is on. It's on.
This reading is taken from Rays of the One Light, Weekly Commentaries on the Bible and Bhagavad Gita by Swami Kriyananda, J. Donald Walters. This is week 21, The Secret of Right Action. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. One of the most famous stories in the Gospels is that of Martha and Mary. Jesus, visiting the home of Martha, was teaching while her sister Mary sat at his feet, absorbing herself of his divine love and wisdom. Martha, meanwhile, busied herself with serving her guests and was upset with Mary for not helping her. "Lord," she cried, "doesn't it matter to you that my sister has left me to do all this serving alone? Please ask her to help me." "Martha, Martha," Jesus answered, "thou art careful and troubled about many things, but one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her." This story is classic, for Martha's complaint is very understandable, and not on the surface of it spiritually wrong. Jesus might well have told Mary to get up and help her, nor do we really know that he didn't, considerate as he always was of others' needs. But the teaching here doesn't concern the obvious dilemma of devotees, to work for God or to spend all one's time in prayer. It concerns rather the attitude of the mind. Jesus didn't tell Martha, "Martha, you're doing too much." He told her rather, "You are letting your work affect your inner peace." That was the contrast, not work versus contemplation, but restless preoccupation versus peaceful absorption under all circumstances. As it says in the Bhagavad Gita, the 2nd chapter, actions performed under the influence of desire are greatly inferior to those which are guided by wisdom. Happiness eludes people when they act from self-interest. Seek shelter, therefore, in the equanimity of wisdom. Thus, for Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind.
Om, Om, Om. Thank you, Mallory. Is Dana on? No. We'll have a few announcements, whatever I can remember or anyone can help me. So there is an introduction to meditation, our free 1-hour meditation class next Sunday at 1 o'clock. And I believe the biggest and most wonderful event about to happen is that Dana Lynn Anderson will be coming with us in person on May 29th, 30th, and 31st. And she is an internationally known writer, artist, teacher. She's opened the Performing Arts Academy, I believe is the name of it, in Assisi, and just blossomed tremendously over the, say, 20 years or so that I've known her. She used to live at Ananda Village on the Sunset Ridge, for those of you who've been there, and in that little house, and her daughter now is grown and helping her in the performing arts in Assisi. So just to be able to watch someone, I mean, we all do in our own way, but I'm not that of an artsy person, and to watch Dana blossom, and it's not just drawing or pottery, it's so much more. She has taken this to the level of creativity and spirituality, and this is all the second chakra, everything, that art expression of all of the creativity modalities that we have in our life. So anyway, she will be coming, and registration has been open, and we do ask that you register this week, please, just so that we know. There's a maximum of 15 people, because in this room there'll be some movement in some of our workshop on Saturday. There'll be different things. It's not like we're going to be just sitting here listening. It's an experiential, artistic, creative, within our own self expressions. So I'll just say that. Maybe she'll tell us more when she comes online. The Path of Kriya class is going to happen in June, and that's our entry class into what is Ananda, what is Kriya Yoga. That's a 3-week class for anyone interested. If you know anyone, this is the time, because it probably will not happen again until the fall. So Path of Kriya coming, and I think that's probably enough. Let's get ready to have, yes, let's have our offering. Someone, yeah. And the good news is, did she leave again? Okay, so Dana is online. I think there was a little trouble behind the scenes, but she has come. Offering.
What you have to offer in your right hand, please pray with me. Divine Mother,
Divine Mother,
we offer to thee
we offer to thee
the fruit of our labors,
the fruit of our labors.
bless this offering,
Bless this offering,
serve as a channel of thy light,
that it serve as a channel of thy light.
truth-seeking souls everywhere.
Souls everywhere. Amen. Since our affirmation was on service and reading, let's sing. How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the roots my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the roots my desires. How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the roots my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the roots my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the roots my desires. How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? With every breath I breathe. So welcome, Dana. And we're going to, before we get you to start talking, we're going to allow everyone here in the temple to turn their chairs around. We have a big screen at the back, and you should be able to see us in a moment, not just me.
Okay.
There she is. So how about you introduce yourself a little more and take it away.
Okay, well, hello everybody. I actually had the intention of being on right at the beginning and I got the time frame mixed up, so I apologize, but I'm really happy to be here. And I am a longtime member of Ananda. I first came in 1986, I guess it was. Yes, and I was pregnant with my daughter Rachel. And some people have said maybe she brought you. And she's also a devotee now, which is very sweet. But I've been involved with the arts part of Ananda. Particularly recently, we created a movement called the Joyful Arts, which is something that comes straight from Swamiji. He really wanted to have the arts be a fundamental part of what we do. He was very much an advocate of how art and creativity was not only an essential part for our personal lives, but also for building community and even on the spiritual path. So I have been working on that over the years, and I have an academy in Italy that's right across the street from Ananda Assisi, like a 3-minute walk. So that's kind of fun. And I'm here at the village, and we have also the beautiful Living Wisdom Center, which has an art classroom, and I have a studio here too. So how's that? Is that good enough?
Thank you.
So wow, can I just, I guess I have speaker view, but I love looking at your altar. It's so beautiful.
Yep.
You guys are incorporating beauty in right off the bat. It's lovely. The beautiful lotus pattern behind the painting. So it's not seen behind the pictures of the masters. So it seems like you all have a very deep appreciation for the beauty, element of beauty, and how beauty uplifts our consciousness. So shall I dive right into talking now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to be sure because I was introducing. Yes, so today's topic is very interesting. It's one that comes up in many different contexts about Martha and Mary. And I was giving it some thought, of course, and I find that over and over on the spiritual path, there are these moments that come between our immersion in God's presence and all that we're supposed to be doing. There is a joyful service that is possible for all of us, and we've all felt it, like when we enter into that stream of energy that carries us and helps us to feel like, oh, I'm just being a channel right now. I'm letting God's energy flow through me. And that's the real joy. That is truly the sweetness of this path and of the spiritual journey, because as we go along, there are very wonderful exalted states of consciousness we're looking forward to. Like I'm sure we all would like to be in a sustained state of samadhi, for example. But it's wonderful that in each moment along the way, we have the opportunity to have what I kind of call like a baby samadhi. And you know, there's two different types of samadhi. The one that you enter into when you have a state of consciousness, that you are in deep meditation, and that's what you're experiencing, and you're immobilized, and there's nothing else that's happening. And then there's the integrated state of samadhi, where you are working, eating, sleeping, meditating, divinely loving. I've been listening to God, God, God. And you're still feeling that inner state of love and connection and intimacy with the divine. And both of those states, that samadhi supreme of being engaged in the divine, and also the flow of God's presence in every moment, are possible in little sort of fractals, little bits of baby steps towards that. And so that dilemma, or the contrast between between Mary and Martha is in part the contrast between what it is inside of us that immediately gets lost in what we're doing. Even though at the beginning we're like, oh, I'm serving God, I'm going to make the flowers for arrangement for Sunday service, or I'm going to help with this big event that we're sponsoring. But then when it starts to happen, you become lost in it. And you're like, hey, get over there, why are you doing this? You get caught up in like, oh, it has to be done. This has to be done the right way. Oh no, they did that the wrong way. Like the mind begins to take over. And what it is that you are intending, which is to be connected to the divine flow, gets lost. And that second mini baby samadhi is the moment that we come back and remember what it is that's our true purpose. Why are we here? Does it matter if the flowers are not perfect? Does it matter if these outer events do not come together in the way that we think they should? No, it doesn't. But we get caught in it. So that's Mary and Martha. I feel like we all have like little Mary and Martha inside of us. And it's, as he says in the readings, it's not about should you be working, should Martha be preparing dinner, should these things be happening, but how are they happening? And how can we train ourselves and learn and cultivate over time a deepened capacity to really be an open, full channel for the divine. And that is actually how the arts have played out for me too. And this is why I think one of the reasons that Swamiji really emphasized not only seeing beautiful art, not only creating environments where we have beauty around us, but also engaging in the creative process, engaging in dance or music, chanting, singing, painting, creating, allowing any of the arts to be a vehicle. And that's what's very interesting. It's almost like a little bit of a magical reality that that the modalities of the arts, whether they're clay or collage or paint or music or dance or theater, somehow have a capacity to deliver us, if we engage in them, deliver us into a place where we are learning and experiencing ourselves as a channel of a divine creative flow. And so in the creative process, the way we work with it, it's not the product that matters. It's not what we create. It's not the end result. It's not our little pretty picture at the end that is what we're after. And that is just like this relationship. It's not the outer action. It's not getting everything perfect and all the ducks in a row and all the things brought together in the way that we think they should. It's about allowing that energy to move through us. And when we are engaged in any creative process, that is what happens in a very easy and joyful way. We simply have to let go of the result. And then the process can move us into that place. And you know, for a long time, I don't know about you all, but for a long time I struggled with the idea of, you know, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita basically saying, you know, give me your actions, give me everything, and don't be attached, let go of attachment to the result. And what I've found is that in a, I guess for me, and I think for some of us in our culture, we have this sort of medieval mindset, I would call it, that we're thinking, oh, you know, I have this ice cream cone that I want, and God wants me to give it up. Or whatever it is that my heart desires, God wants to rip it from me and take it, and I have to sacrifice And there are moments when that level of detachment brings about a wondrous state of consciousness, but most of us are working on the level of letting go of the little teeny results that are around us, the outcomes and the products. And that's where I really enjoy and find a miraculous, wondrous experience in working with painting or clay or collage or any of these vehicles, because when we let go of the result and not think about, I'm trying to make this clay become this, I'm trying to make the painting become this, oh no, it didn't go the way I wanted and the red's over here. This is that moment by moment process, experience of, do I grab onto what is appearing, to what the appearance is? Do I hold on to what's looking like it's becoming on the outside? Or do I stay inside and go into the flow of it? A lot of times in our classes, we will have people close their eyes when they're painting, or close your eyes while you're holding the clay, so that what you're experiencing is not oriented to the product or the result, it's oriented to your inner experience. And why does this matter? Because the spiritual path happens on the inside. It happens inside of our own deep spine, as they say, as it is technically the channel inside of us, the sushumna, the spine inside, the center of our being. It happens deep inside of us. And so if we, even in our spiritual practices, we can become externally minded. We can be more engaged with, do we have the right yoga mat? Do we have the little thing? Do we look good? Are we looking like a good devotee? Do we have the right kind of Kriya outfit? Or I don't know, like these accoutrements, the accoutrements of the spiritual path, right? Do I look like I'm being a good devotee and I show up and I do this and I do that and I say this and I say that? And it can be, I've seen it because I've been at Ananda for decades. And I have to say, over time you see that those people who are diving into that outer appearance can hold it up for a while, but not forever. Because at a certain point, if we base our spiritual life on how it shows up to others, or how we think we ought to be even though we're not, it begins to crack. It's something that can't be sustained. The life of spirit has so many metaphors that remind us it's like the vine, not the fruit. It's the sap in the tree of life that comes from deep within. It's the divine flow that expresses absolutely uniquely in each one of us. And that's something that's so important. If we are not coming from our own true reality, our own humble, this is where humility comes in, ironically. Like, we think humility is like, oh, I am so humble and you are so great and I am so nothing. And Swami made fun of that sometimes. I'm sure you remember some examples of, like, the woman in the Catholic church that he was visiting, and she was like, this is where we pray to Jesus, It's like we can get caught in these outer things, but he reminded us over and over how important it is that we come from who we really are, who we actually are inside, what our inner life is. And if we are true to that, then we are giving God the right global positioning system for how we get closer. GPS, the little guide that we have. If we put into that GPS, okay, I want to go to Rome, and I'm in Florence, but I'm going to tell it I'm actually in Perugia, because Perugia looks better. And so we're like, okay, GPS, I'm in Perugia. And, it can't take us there if we're not coming from where we are actually. And this is not just conceptual. because when we come to a place inside where we're starting to be really honest and authentic with who we are, we bring that into our conversation with God. We bring that into our deep, intimate, divine romance that can happen. There is a divine romance in the spiritual life. And even, like when things happen, like this morning for me, and during our lives, where you made a mistake or, something's happened, I often find so much power and closeness in bringing that to God and saying, God, this is what's happened, and I feel this, I feel afraid, or I feel ashamed, or I feel fearful, all these different things that we feel. And speak to God and offer it to God. Offer that relief that we've heard of. If you can't bring to me, and I'm extrapolating this, you'll remember the quote, but this is not the quote. If you can't bring to me your full on, complete dedication and perfect action and showing up in all the right circumstances, doing exactly the right thing, well, that's okay. If you can't bring to me your full on attention and concentration and meditation, okay, keep working on that. But what you can bring to me, the divine within, is the truth. Is the authentic reality inside of you, and say, God, I feel this. And I've found over and over that when I come to my harmonium or my meditation area, and I say, this is what I'm feeling, I even speak it out loud and say, God, here's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling nervous about this, or I'm feeling confused about this. And then I just let that be that relief that's offered at the feet of the divine. Then God has the correct place, the correct location. And I have, more importantly, that correct location. And that is true humility. So that is not like, oh, I am looking so very devoted and so very, outwardly appearing to be this humble devotee. It's like, I'm humble because I'm admitting inside of me what's happening. I'm humble because when I come to the place where I am aware of the mistakes I make and I'm aware of the feelings I have, and I'm just offering them to the divine, it's humbling. That's humbling. That's where we feel, oh, okay, this is me. This is really where I'm at. But then there's a freedom that opens up and a joy that opens up, because I'm still okay. And God embraces and loves and swoops into to hold you near. Because you are each one of us, I and you are, we are very beloved by the divine. Who we are is a unique, never to be repeated expression, spark of the divine. And that spark, every one of those sparks is equally loved by God. Whether you are Christ or Krishna or Dana or Mayatri or any of these individual expressions, we are held forever in the love and the care and the sweetness and the intimacy of a divine relationship that allows us to bring forth the unique petals of our being. It's like, you've heard that phrase probably. Master Yogananda says, I want a bouquet of souls. I don't need, when he did his tour and he's traveling around and he's speaking to thousands, so few became deep devotees from that. But what mattered was that there was this bouquet of souls. And when you think about that, that's all of us, every one of us. And each one of us, if we're in this bouquet of souls, we are a flowering being. We unfold over time the petals of who we are. We unfold layer by layer a unique flower, a unique flowering of the divine potential. And ultimately there's the crown chakra, 1,000-petaled lotus that unfurls its full magnificence. But that lotus starts in the deep mud and grows through the murky waters and breaks the surface realm of air and light and sun, and then begins to continually unfold more and more of our divine capacity. We each have a song we came to sing, a poem inside of us that is our unique signature. There is no possibility that our unique being can ever be duplicated, replicated, or repeated, because it is a once and all eternity spark of creation. And there is, I believe, from my experience, there is a joy in the divine that celebrates who we are. There is a love and a delight in the divine when we are truly coming from and expressing the unique unfoldment of our being. Asha has been getting into these near-death experience testimonials, and she was telling me about one that I love, and the woman, she's in the state after having died, but she comes back, but she's in that dying state. She has this experience of God that's so loving and so intimate and so profound, and she comes back and she says, I always knew that God loved me, but I didn't realize that he liked me. And it's like, yeah, God actually even likes us. It's not just that, yes, I love you because after all I created you, and I did the best, even though you're messing it up, It's like, you're liked. God appreciates every nuance and quirky habit of you. And yes, we're purifying it, we're cleaning and clearing, we're coming deeper into the spine, and as that happens, more and more of the sort of dead leaves fall off, more and more of the things that we are not are peeled away. It's like the process, it's an alchemical process. When you have gold inside of all these other elements, it's in an amalgam, it's mixed with lesser metals, and you bring it into that intense heat and fire. There's a time when it's being smelted, and all that is not the gold, the dross, is being melted away. And we are, as tender human beings, often in that moment. And in a certain moment, we identify with the dross, the part that's being melted away. And that, my friends, is fire and brimstone. When we are going, melting away, everything I want, everything I'm trying to hold on to and make happen is just melting away. But when we shift, just in that moment, our identity to the gold within, to the gold inside of us, then that same process is completely joyous. You're just like, now I can shine. Now my gold is pure and light, and all of these leads and lesser metals are coming off of me. And that's the moment we come to when we come to the divine and we offer that leaf and we say, here it is. This is me in this moment. This is how I am. But I open now. I open to receive your grace. I open to allow the divine creative energy to flow through me. I open to let a love and a grace and a joy that is beyond my little human enclosure's capacity to feel. So, let's see, I probably have 5 minutes left, or what do you think here, guys?
Sure. You can 5 minutes,
Okay.
or if you go over, that's okay. We're not timing this.
Okay.
Meaning we're going to have people interact with you after a little while. But
Questions and answers.
oh,
Okay,
yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, well, let me finish this little part then with a story that just speaks to letting ourselves relinquish our attachment to the things on the outside that aren't serving us and opening our channels so that we can experience more and more of a vibrant flow of God's divine love, power, beauty, joy, energy, vision. And it comes from a story about Corrie ten Boom, and I don't know, how many of you guys have read The Hiding Place or know about Corrie ten Boom? That her and her sister were in a concentration camp during World War II. And they had some pretty intense experiences, as you can imagine, but they were both beautiful, deeply religious, I don't even use the word religious, deeply spiritual people. And they were constantly working with trying to feel love and forgiveness. And one of the sisters who ended up not making out of the camp was especially attuned to the divine. And she was telling Corey that, we're going to really need to help people with love and forgiveness after this is over, when we go back, when this terrible period is over. And Corey at first thinks, well, of course, she's talking about us forgiving these other people that are doing these terrible things. And she realizes at a certain point that she's talking about forgiving the guards, forgiving the people who were doing this, that they would need help with forgiving themselves, that they would need assistance in helping to forgive themselves. Their souls would need that. And so later in time, she's out of the concentration camp, and she's going on like a tour basically, and meeting people and telling her story and giving inspiration. And she sees in the audience, because at the end there's a line of people who come up to connect, and she sees in that line, I should say, one of the guards that she remembers distinctly for some of the most horrific experiences that she had in that concentration camp. And when she sees him, she's like, oh no, what am I going to do? How can I even touch his hand? Or, her body, her psyche recoiled at that encounter in a sense. But she prayed inwardly. And as he came forward, she was able to reach out her hand and take his hand, and she says inside, I can't do this, Jesus. She talks to Jesus in this intimate way. I can't do this. You have to do it, but I'm willing to let you do it. And I ask for you to do it because I can't. And in that moment, she feels a flood of forgiveness that is able to reach out to this person and open his heart, or I shouldn't even say open, but like nourish his heart in that moment. And it was something, I say this story because it was something that she could not do personally. She could not, as a psyche, as a human being, with her mental capacity, with her just the ability of her, even her own stage of development, she couldn't do it. But she could ask to be a channel. And she could allow the divine force to come through her, the love of God, to move through her vehicle towards this other soul, so that he could forgive himself. Because shame blocks the spiritual possibility of growth. If he can't forgive himself, he's not able to move forward as a soul. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. And that ability to ask to be a channel applies to everything. Because there are any aspect of life that we're trying to accomplish ourselves, anything we're trying to do on a higher level, our day-to-day work as a devotee to come closer to God, honestly, we really can't do most of it on our own. And when we do, it doesn't work out the way it can when we allow ourselves to become humble and to remember that anointing the feet of Jesus is what's happening, not cooking in the kitchen. That the activity of running around and making it all work and putting it all together and getting A to Z in line, that's not where it's happening. It's happening with coming to the divine and asking for that capacity to be a channel of something greater than I am myself, than I am myself capable of. And that happens in the studio, which is why creativity is a spiritual path. It helps the spiritual path. Because we learn how, in physical, hands-on, kinesthetic, somatic ways, we learn how to be a channel. How to let go of what it looks like, how it turns out, and pay 100% attention to what's really important. Am I, in this moment, open to the divine flow? That's the question. Or am I caught up in, it looks like this, it looks like that, should be like that, the mind and all of its little hamster gerbil activities. So that's good. Shall we have a moment to connect and ask questions and whatever?
Yes. So we have a microphone here in the temple, and we're going to move it to the middle. And anyone who may have a comment or a question, and it can be about anything, about Martha and Mary, as we've heard for how many years since we're a child. We've heard that story, and we're still trying to get it. But you expressed it very beautifully, Dana. Thank you for that. And you can also maybe tell us about the workshop. But let's see first. Questions.
Sure, let's see if there's questions, and then I can tell about the workshop. Sounds
Yep.
good.
So here's Francisco at the microphone. He's our tech.
Hey, Dana. Good morning. Thank you
Hi.
for your talk. I really appreciate it. So you were talking about how to accept ourselves or how we pretend to be this perfect person, right? And eventually it's going to break.
Right.
How can we try to accept ourselves? For example, I want to be this perfect employee, and sometimes I feel frustrated because I'm not getting the results I was expecting, or as a husband or as a son, right? How can we accept us in this context, that this part that we struggle with? Because there's a lot of things that we accept, right? Oh, I'm good at sports, I'm good at something. So you feel proud of it or something, but there's many parts where you don't feel proud of it. Or how can you accept and move on? Or if you could elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, there's certain parts that are easy to accept and are limitations, like, okay, I'm not going to be a brain surgeon. I'm not too concerned about that. I would be a terrible brain surgeon, so luckily I'm not going to be one. But it gets close to the heart. That's where it becomes more and more important to us. Am I showing up as a father or a husband or a employee or part of the church community? And that's where the real inner work gets done. And I think that there's a way that I think is one of the simplest. It sounds so simple that you can't even believe it's really what you would need to do. But it's, again, talk to God. In that moment, when you realize it, like you just yelled at your kid or something, you're like, oh my gosh, I do not want to be the kind of parent who yells at my kid, but I just did, right? For example, I'm just using that as
Perfect
and
example.
It's like, can you in that moment go inside and go, it doesn't have to be outward, it doesn't have to be words spoken to others. Dear God, I just did something that I really didn't want to do. Please help me. Please help me. Please forgive me. Please help me forgive myself. Please come into my heart. Because in those moments, what we do is we go, oh, we shrivel up. We close down. We let shame come down on top of our heads. And we go, oh no, I am not good. And I have been bad. Like it's, and then that closes us down. And it takes us place that in utter humility just says, essentially, yeah, I'm not there yet, but I'm willing to be. I'm willing to open and receive the flow of grace. And then you'll feel, I mean, this is actually really practical, because you will feel or know in the moment what you should do to make amends. That starts to, I think, flow into that experience as you're practicing it, as you're going forward. You know, how do I talk to my child after I've yelled at them? How do I make amends when I've missed something at work that was hard for our team? Or, how do I do that? But if you jump straight to amends, you're actually trying to fix it on the surface. It's like, oh, I better and we're still on the inside in fear and shame and panic and all these different emotions. So it's taking the trustful step that says, first, I will seek the kingdom of God. First, I will hold this leaf and offer it to the divine. And yeah, it is full-on practice. It's not a spiritual perfection, it's a spiritual practice. So, I don't know, does that help at all? Or
Yeah, a lot. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for that question.
Well, that was great. I don't know about everybody else, but, little imperfections that we are aware of and accept within ourselves, turn them over to God. I mean, I've tried to fix certain things within my own self for years. And once you're aware of them, well, that's a good start. Yay. I'm aware that now whatever, X, Y, Z. But what do I do with it? First, I love what you said, seek first the kingdom of God. First, turn it over. And there, from inward, the divine will help us to be more aware, and then suddenly I'm not yelling at people on the freeway anymore. Whatever it is. So that was great. So who else may have a comment? Do we have anything in the chat box? Folks online, you can put anything in the chat box, and Francisco can keep an eye on that for us. But how about here?
Oh, come on, people. Let's talk.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll jump in there. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Mark.
First of all, I just want to say I loved your analogy of the GPS. And the GPS can't get you to where you want to go unless you know. Number one, you know where you are, and number two, you're honest with where you are. So I thought that was a great analogy, and I expect to be using it a lot at least in my own life anyway. So since I don't do talks anymore, but anyway, one of the things that I remember reading many years ago, and I can't remember exactly what the context was, but it said, it's most important that, and I can't remember if this is in a spiritual context or not, but it said that you try to lessen the amount of time between having an inspiration and taking action on it. And that doesn't mean necessarily that, if you have an inspiration to do, to do anything really. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be complete, within the next 30 seconds. But, if you can lessen the amount of time before you take action on that and start moving on that, then that's a sign of spiritual growth. And I even remember that Swami even took it to the point where he wouldn't even wait for the inspiration to hit him. He would just start walking towards the piano and saying, "Divine Mother, I need a melody for this," and I'm in full faith that by the time I get to the piano, I'm going to have it. And he said, most of the time that worked out, or maybe all the time, I'm not sure. But I wondered if you would comment on that and how that, overanalyzing something is really the death of creativity.
question in the context of that GPS metaphor. And then I'll talk about it in a different way. But in terms of the GPS metaphor, one of the things I love in that is that when you are on the road and your GPS is trying to take you to Rome and you make a wrong turn, it doesn't say to you, you idiot, I told you turn here. It doesn't like start judging that you made the wrong turn, ever. All it says, essentially, is recalculating. Recalculating. So no matter what we do, the divine is always with us going, recalculating. Okay, I thought you were going to get this one good. You didn't, so we're going to go from where you are now. And there is
perfect.
absolutely no like shame coming from God. I really feel over time that like shame is not from the divine spark inside of us. Shame is from the part of us that blocks the light. And so our regret and our shame and our down on ourselves and oh I blew it, that part is not the voice of God. The voice of God is recalculating, now we're going to go from where you are to where you need to be. And I think it ties into your question about inspiration, because it's again that practice of tuning in frequently and just trusting what that attunement tells you to do in the next step that gives you that confidence. So when we have inspirations, there's a step where you can grab that inspiration and it becomes very precious and you're like, oh, my precious inspiration. And I have to hold on to it because who knows, I might not get it again. And it's so important, and so I better think about it and I better get it right because it's this precious thing. And you start to create this increasing abyss between, chasm between you and the realization of the inspiration. I think that's what you're talking about. Like the road gets longer and longer because you're trying to hold on to it. And I think that trusting that the divine is there moment by moment. So I got this inspiration and the next day I forgot it. Oh no. Well, what do you got for me today, God? And then it comes through again. And you begin to have a feeling, if you are in that recalculation process takes place. It's great to bring that into the metaphor because it takes place again and again. Like we have okay, I admit I'm in Florence, I'm going to Rome. It's not like done that moment. It's like, what exit do I take? Which freeway do I get on? And that happens all along the way. So when we're tuning in again and again, not only to the forgiveness and all these things that we were talking about, but to the inspiration. Because when we are channel and when we are open, the inspiration of the divine wants to flow through us. It can't wait to flow through us. Like I really feel like at some points when I'm in a flow of inspiration that I experience the delight of the divine. Like, yeah, this was what I had in mind with creation. Thank you. When I made this whole story happen, it was like I wanted people to be channels of the beauty and the glory and the love. And so trusting that, take that little step of the inspiration and let go of the result. The result being, I will follow through on this inspiration and it'll be magnificent. I will da-da-da-da-da. It's like, what can I do in this moment? And if you are open in that moment, it could be that the inspiration is sit with this a while. Don't move it into action. But it could also be the inspiration is take that little baby step, just like the baby samadhi, What's the baby step? I write it down. The baby step. I draw it. I show my friends. I, whatever, these little teeny bits along the way. And again, encountering humility because it's a bit of a segue, but maybe not. When we are imagining things, when we are tuning into divine imagination, it's such a vivid, glorious reality that anything we actually create on earth is pretty paltry in comparison. It's like you have this fabulous vision and then you go, oh, okay. When it finally becomes real, it's like And I think we have to hold that awareness as we create on this plane, that nothing we create will ever be the full inner vision of magnificence. We got a glimpse, and that inspires the energy that allows us to create, but it's not going to replicate that. It's not going to reproduce the magnificent experience that we had in our momentary inspiration. I don't know if that helps, Mark, if you have other thoughts.
No, that's great, and I love the idea of the divine GPS. Is always recalculating and helping us. Okay, you missed that turn. That's okay. We'll just come up here. We'll make a U-turn. We'll get back to where that turn was, and and I think we have a lot of recalculating going on in our lives on a regular basis. So.
Yep.
But no, I love what you said about you have an inspiration, you go with whatever it is, and then it doesn't turn out to be quite as glorious as because I don't know, energetically everything is so much better than the reality that we're able to produce. I remember the master classes that they have online with different famous people. It's like, and I remember one with Ron Howard, the director, talking about his master class, and he starts out by saying, you have to realize that in the film business, every project will, and you think, what's he going to say here? What he says is, every project will sooner or later find its way to breaking your heart. And that was, I thought that's it's great to start off that bit of realism, that it's not going to be the way you saw it in your head, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be good. So.
Right.
Right, absolutely. That's great. And that's what Krishna is asking when he says, relinquish the results of your actions. Give me the results. I'm in charge of the results. You're in charge of staying in the process.
So,
great. Hello.
so this is Mallory.
Hi, Mallory.
Hi, I met you at NCC.
Yes.
I saw your gallery and everything. It was wonderful. What I notice when I have an inspiration that's really important to me is my negative ideas come in, and then I just forget about it. So I like what you said about taking the small, sharing for one thing, sharing it with other people, which is being vulnerable right there, and then taking the small steps, because I can do that. I can take the small steps. But I will lose it if I don't do something with it. I'll lose it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely hear you. Because the astral imagination is so immense, and our physical realm is a different substrate in a sense, So, so it can be overwhelming when we have all of our human fears and doubts come up in response to the inspiration. So the tangible step actually sort of like puts the crack in the shell that started to happen.
Yeah.
You have the inspiration, you're like, glory to God, you're singing The Hills Are Alive on the top of the place out. And then you're like, but I am and I can't, and you come down into that contracted space. And so that little first step is like a crack that says, okay. And again, this is like, I'm kind of getting today as I'm talking how much it has to do with humility. Because it's like, okay, God, I can't do it, but you gave me an inspiration, help me out here. And what's the first little step? Drawing a picture of it, writing it down, speaking it out, recording it on your iPhone or whatever so you can get the ideas out. Also, even I have to say in my own practice, this is just something I do, is I make little altars. Like I put a picture of something up and put flowers around it and put things that relate to it. So like I'm actually feeding and nourishing the idea that's not even in near manifestation yet, but I feel inspired So that can be a practice that is really fun because it's creating beauty, but it's also honoring this is a creative gift that I've been given, and I make the intention and have the humility to say this beautiful gift cannot be manifest out of my own capacities, but I can serve as its vehicle if you will flow through me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm repeating somehow, you guys. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a sound thing. We don't know. We can hear you and understand, though.
Okay, great.
So Mayatri just showed up on the screen.
Hey, Mayatri. Hi, sweetie. I bet you.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sitting in the parking lot of Ananda, Washington.
Okay.
I rode over listening to your talk while crossing the ferry from Kingston to Edmonds and then driving up the freeway. And I'm lucky I didn't have an accident because I was fully engaged with you and what you were saying and trying to pay attention to the GPS. That was pretty funny because I too loved your GPS. I think that's a real inspiration. Got to remember that one. I just a couple things I wanted to say. First of all, to everyone there, if you're feeling as inspired as I feel, just listening to Dana talk and everything, and this is where I always go. More people need to hear this. More people need to be exposed to this, and that's the way I feel about you coming to Dallas. It's like everything you've said today, if some people could hear this and know about you coming, they would be so thrilled to be there. But if they don't ever get the message, or the friend doesn't say, look, you need to be here, then they're gonna miss this amazing opportunity. So I want to say to everybody there, get a friend, grab a friend. This is amazing what you've shared today, to just open up those floodgates of not just creativity, but just that divine connection in a way that, as you were saying, expresses your own unique gift to the world. It's the exploration of that. So I'm really excited that I'm coming back to Dallas to be with you, and I'm also equally as excited that I get you in the village and that we can share more. And I just, two other little quick things, because I've always had an issue with feeling the confidence or whatever. It's the ego that is, gets involved there with all that judgment and shame and, oh, I can't do this and everything. But one of the ways early on for me that helped me is I sort of reverted back to making mud pies as a child. It's like, you just make mud pies of things. You just have fun with it. And it's one thing Asha's and Swami has said, just have fun. And so I always try to keep that in mind when I start to get too serious, because when I lose the fun aspect to it, then it's almost always over for me. It's there. So I try to tune into just keeping that mantra of, it's fun, make it fun, have fun. It's all about fun.
Yeah.
That said, I'm going to throw you a little curveball. This is my last thing. So happy Mother's Day to everybody out there, and Sri Teshwar's birthday. Now, how do we reconcile that? How do we reconcile that creativity and, Mother's Day is, creative. That's the creative self. We're all making creative babies, right? Creative children. I want your views on how we reconcile Sri Teshwar and Mother's Day.
Okay.
Thanks, Mayatri.
I have to respond to the first 2 points first, though, because they brought up things. So, one is that you said something that I think is so essential to in the negative sense of the word ego. And it can be both. It's very interesting. I use this analogy of Cain and Abel. Maybe you're familiar with the biblical story of Cain and Abel. And here they are, two brothers, and they're out there, and they're giving their offering to God. One is offering the meat, and the other is offering the grains and the flowers. And one of them looks over and thinks, God likes what he's doing better. Like, he's getting a better response. His stuff is better than mine. And that ends poorly, as you know in the story, as he ends up actually killing the brother. But it's this jealousy or this comparison that happens when we look around and we see other people's creative flow. And this just, it may not be exactly what you were talking about, Maitri, but I want to bring it up because in the room, in the studio, when you're doing art, I see this over and over, that if you are focused on your altar and your offering to the divine, your creative process, all is well. And you are in the flow of the soul. And that when you look around and go, oh, I love what they're doing, mine isn't as good, I'm ashamed. Or, mine is better. Like, look at me. Look at mine, guys. Like, look, you know, it's really looking good. And so both things are they're the sides of the same coin. It's the comparison coin, you know, that we have that. So I just wanted to mention that because when I think of one of the biggest blocks right off the bat, it's like mine won't be as good, or I really secretly want it to be better, and so that gives a whole bunch of pressure and tension because I want it to be better. So anyway, that's that. And Sri Teshwar and Mother's Day. What came to mind immediately with that is the somewhat unbelievable story that comes directly from Sri Teshwar's people who knew and experienced Sri Teshwar in their childhood, was that he showed up at the house with candy in his pockets. You know, when he came to visit the houses that had children in them, he came with candy in his pockets and handed out candy. And the children looked forward to Sri Yukteswar coming. Now, if Sri Yukteswar, because we know him from stories of him dealing with advanced disciples where he's training them to become avatars. He's working with this level, and we are on that level at times. You know, we're working with that level, and at that point, you have the father energy, right? The disciplinarian father energy that we feel in Sri Yukteswar, but Sri Yukteswar also carried the divine mother energy, and I think as we the holy science. I don't know, his book that he was commissioned by God to do, the holy science. Babaji gave him that task. What do you remember? What the statement he said about bottom line, what it's all about is love. If you can't love, you're not taking even the first baby step on the spiritual path. The foundation of spiritual growth, the foundation of our progress is love. And if we nourish that foundation, and if we ask Sri Yukteswar for the candy when we need it, like literally, like work on that loving mother foundation inside of ourselves, then by the time we get to the harder lessons that involve discipline and will, we are not doing it in a way that is actually self-abusive or self-damaging. Because I think a lot of us have missing mother nourishment inside of us. And so when we get into willpower and discipline, we get really tense and mean with ourselves. We can get that way. But if you come from the foundation of the nourishing divine mother, and you're allowing who you are to just be rooted in that, then at a certain point, you want that one spine of the tree trunk to grow straight. And you put energy into that and allow it to grow straight. But that's a very different experience than just trying to do it right and being constantly pruning and withering to yourself in the journey I don't know if that's helpful, but. You're not, Maitri, your mic is not on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was perfect. I have to take off now, but I just wanted, I'm so glad I could join and be with everyone today, and I look forward to being there in just a couple weeks more. And one last thing, just between you and me, in that sense, we're on the same flight, Dina.
That's so exciting!
I know.
Great, I
All
love
right,
it.
we'll talk more about that when I get back to the village. So
Okay, sounds
everybody
good.
have a great day,
Okay.
and God bless everybody, and happy Mother's Day, happy Shri Tesh for his birthday.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, that sounds.
Bye, Maitri.
Actually, now that she jumped off, I'm gonna actually hit the third point, which I was going to. And that's about bringing a friend and to the workshop. And I'll say that one of the things, like today I'm talking to you all, so I'm making it very tuned into our particular path. But the workshop is actually on Saturday very beneficial and open to anyone who just has a spiritual longing and wants to experience how to open the channel. And the workshop is actually not about how to become an artist, how to make pretty pictures, you have talent, you have experience, nada, 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 nula. Nothing about that. It's about opening the channel. And the languaging that we use in the workshop is very much universal, that anybody could relate to, inside, outside, tree of life archetype, sap moving through the branches, just things that are like alive metaphors for the spiritual life. So it's actually a really, really good opportunity to introduce someone to who's just wanting to have some contact with the spiritual dimension of life. And I recommend that you do try to obviously come, but also bring someone, because that you guys aren't the hugest meditation group, right? You don't have thousands. You have maybe a gathering, and it's beautiful, but it grows through word of mouth. You don't have the budget to put on the kind of marketing that gets 100 people showing up, but you do have the kind of heart that magnetizes people to your community. And that's what you have to be a little bit courageous with. You got to step out there and tell your dentist about it, or whatever it is that you're out there and you feel this person could potentially experience this in a way that would be growthful. And they don't have to be into art. What you want to look for is somebody who's right for spiritual life, for the inner life, who's interested in having a vibrant inner life.
That's beautiful. Thank you for saying that. I think that helped all of us to feel free to sort of be vulnerable ourselves, to say, hey, I'm going to this workshop, and I know you're a spiritual being, because you can tell it, and sometimes you even discuss it, but it's not all about Ananda, Yogananda. It's not that at all. It's how to open ourselves to the divine. What you just said has been very helpful, and we will do that, and we're going to let you go because it is afternoon here, which is 10 o'clock your time.
Just when I'm ready to show up for the event, actually. my Outlook program, despite my mind, put it into that time frame.
Interesting. Next time we're going to talk next time instead of all the emails then, because yeah.
Sounds good.
Next time, meaning you're coming in person first. Let's just wait and enjoy that thought.
And please come. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to.
Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate being with you all. I'm so thrilled when I begin to connect with a group that's sprouting and growing and having this beautiful opening happening in your community. That same community, that same opening that happens for us personally happens for us in community.
For 33 years, dear.
Pardon?
For 33 years, we've been sprouting and supporting and loving. And
Being that Divine Mother Foundation for so many people.
yeah. All right, shall we tell Dana goodbye? Oh, wonderful. So say who you are. Say who you are.
Jocelyn, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us today. It was beautiful. I'm here with the kiddos, so I wasn't very present, but what I heard was beautiful, and I know it's gonna be very special, your visit here in person. So, well, people in the temple and in the Zoom, we invite you to register soon, and you already experienced this moment with Dana, and it's gonna be more magical. So,
Yep.
yeah, we are very happy to have you here soon. Thank you, Dana.
Hello. We want to say hi to Alakai. Hello, Alakai. Can you wave?
Diles, hi, friends.
Focus.
He's focused. That's what I was going to say.
Yes, he's making arts and stuff.
Oh, lovely. Okay, thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, to you all too. Dana, thank you so much. We'll see you in less than 3 weeks.
Yes, we will. It'll be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it.
And Joseline's the one who will be really coordinating all of your coming and, taking care of you and making sure everything's set. So she's our gal now.
Wonderful. She's our gal.
Okay. Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste, Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Jai Sri Yukteswar. Happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to him.